The Corvette is back home in my shop, which means that Nick finished our crazy exhaust, which, let me tell you, that was a challenge. He's been working on that for the past almost 2 weeks now, and going from a torque tube to the transmission being in the rear of the Corvette to now throwing the transmission in the front with our G-Force GSR, he had very, very limited room. He did freaking amazing. It's all officially done, in addition to some other smaller fabrication things here and there. We have a bunch of other stuff that we brought back over. I'm gonna unload the car and then show you our beautiful, beautiful exhaust that's now in the car. I guess we'll start, I just want to start with the engine bay before we put the car up. So we got our coolers mounted.
Yep, so we're using Cricket's Drift HQ lower radiator support.
Which they're gonna start selling these, by the way. This is one of the best things that you can throw on your Corvette, especially if you're road racing or drifting. The original one that I had and the stock one comes down maybe like two inches lower. It's also super like weak. That's one of the first things everyone breaks, and it's just awful. And this is so good. So Cricket whipped this up for us. Much needed Corvette mod.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. So I used that to mount the coolers. We have some temporary red coolers here to make it so I can make all the brackets for everything. And then we also mounted the radiator as well.
Looking so good. All the pieces of this puzzle are slowly starting to go back in.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything else that we haven't shown everyone yet. We already in the last Corvette video went through all the updates in here with all the covers. Yeah, I think we just show them the exhaust now. I'm super stoked to be working with Vibrant Performance again on the Corvette. We used all of their tubing, clamps, filters, fittings, everything for the 3-rotor car, and all that stuff was 100% needed as well for the C6 Corvette build that is now being completely redone from scratch. So this is a full Vibrant Performance exhaust up front, and then we did utilize the existing middle, right?
Yep.
And then
so from
need to finish the rear.
Yeah, we're still not finished. I still need to finish the pipes that go out the back, but we kind of need to move on from doing that for now.
This is the craziness. So this is the first oval exhaust car that I have as well.
Yeah, and it's not a full oval. It's just, you know, really right here. And the only reason I did that was to get past the transmission. You can kind of tell between here and the frame here, it's really tight. So the only way I could really fit a full 3-inch tube was to have it be oval. The Corvette normally, it points more to the center, which is exactly where our transmission is. So I can't exactly put that there. So you had to cut it back and modify it and redo it all the way back to where they merged here. So yeah, made all these pie cuts in order to make it so these can all sit at the right position. Oval piping is also a little bit trickier because you can't necessarily rotate it like a normal circle pipe. So
I had never seen like pie cuts for oval before. They look so crazy.
Yeah, it was a lot. And another reason why I did this also is basically where they collect. We have these slip fits. And with where the slip fits are, we're still able to pull them out and actually pull and remove the transmission without pulling out the headers.
That's why you want whoever's going to be working with you through the race season to be the one building the car, because they keep serviceability and like ease of working on it in mind, like as you go about.
That's important for me, more importantly than anybody.
I wonder how the oval in this section is going to change.
It'll change the pitch a little bit.
Does it usually go higher or lower?
I'm not too sure, honestly. I've never had an oval exhaust car, so I believe it makes it more of a deeper sound.
Okay.
But so then it goes from here, then it goes through an X pipe as well. So it goes through the X pipe and then back out.
And that was the one originally from the Hooker's exhaust that we had, and then
we'll still have the back section to about here from the Hooker exhaust, and then from there we're gonna just have it drop out here.
And what were you saying about it when it drops out? You're gonna have one go sideways, and
I'm gonna have both sides basically point out towards the tires, sort of in this direction, and that will actually make it so like all the exhaust smoke will be pushed out, and it'll make it so it'll look even more smoke will be like coming off the back of the car than it would normally.
So now for today, our goal is to, well, we want to drop the subframes now, or can we? Ooh, no, we have to do. Oh, you're not doing the back yet. of the exhaust. So we don't need to put the diff back in. We can just go straight to dropping the subframes and painting today.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna drop both the subframes, clean them completely, clean all the suspension arms, paint the subframes.
Which means more painting for me.
Yep.
I think this time though, I don't think I want to paint them like full on with automotive paint in the booth. I want to use whatever they used on the Corvette, the Drift H2 Corvette. It was a spray. Paint. Yeah, it was like a silver caliper paint that looked like just clean aluminum. Like it just looked really, really good. So I think that's what we're gonna do for the subframes and probably any other brackets and stuff that are on the block. I'd say we're in a really, really good spot timing wise. I mean, the only full system that hasn't been gone through yet is fuel.
Yeah, pretty much.
So maybe, are we gonna start on that today? Because the subframe's gonna be dropped, so it would be a good time to do that.
The fuel tanks and just kind of start figuring out the fuel pump situation, figuring out where I'm gonna mount the surge tank. And
surprise, we're working with D-Schwartz to have a really, really cool fuel system set up with a surge tank, which I think this is going to be my only car with the surge tank set up. I really need to put one of these in the 3-rotor car as well, but that's for another time.
Yeah.
We're focusing on this, girl.
Since we're not going fuel cell, you know, that's probably our best bet is to stick with stock tanks and just run a surge tank.
With the Corvette, space is always going to be an issue, and that applies to fuel as well. So right now, we think we're going to be fine just using the stock tanks, upgrading the pumps, and having a surge set up, and hopefully we should be good to go. But lots of really, really good progress and updates for the C6 Corvette, and now we're going to start painting again. Y'all, how wild does this look right now? So cool. So our subframe in the front is dropped, and now we need to get the engine off the subframe so I can clean it and paint it. It just looks so freaking wild. I did just find out that our sandblasting machine actually works. So today I'm going to be sandblasting something for the very first time, both the front and the rear subframe. And I did just decide that instead of painting the radiator support the same color, this needs to be neon yellow so that it matches the other bars and cage in the car. So we're gonna hold off on painting that until later, but this will be really fun. I've never sandblasted anything before. Imagine if we were just now starting to build. Like this was the very first time that the subframes were dropped. How much would that suck?
I don't even want to think about that.
I haven't driven the K truck in so long. I really don't know how anyone else drives this because it is perfectly my size. Let's see, start. Maybe. There we go. On our way to pick up the subframes. Our golf cart that we usually move stuff around in is broken at the moment, so we get to have some fun with the K truck. I feel like everyone else looks so big driving this thing around, and I just look normal in it. So we got our subframes Just going to pressure wash them first. I don't want to pull my back, and the K-Truck needs a wash anyway, so I'm just going to pressure wash them in here. Wow. Before I started pressure washing, I had a major blonde moment. I kept like turning the pressure washer on and it wasn't working. And I was getting so frustrated, you guys. I even switched the nozzles on the handle and the whole time the water wasn't hooked up. Disclaimer, I'm running on 3 hours of sleep and I'm trying to see how far into the day I can go with 0 caffeine so that when I really need it later, it'll hit hard later. But yeah, I don't know if it was a blonde moment or just a delusional moment, but anyway, we got the water hooked up. Subframes are power washed, and now I'm gonna take everything over to the sandblasting area and learn how to sandblast stuff for the very first time. All right, sandblasting 101 with Cricket.
Sandblasting 101. Always make sure that you lock this thing down because it will shoot dust out here and cause the rest.
Okay.
But it does fit your whole subframe.
That's awesome. That's what I was worried about.
So you'll have to do it in sections because this won't reach, you know, all the way over here. You won't be able to get to where you need to. So you'll do this front section first, and then you can like flip it up, put something underneath it to hold it up, and then do all your corners.
Okay.
And just finagle it around. If anything, you can put your other one in here with it too, and use it as a prop. And you can, you know,
keep moving them around.
Yeah, just do them all at once. I'll usually hold this with this hose going down, all right, just so it feeds more of the dirt in there. If you have it up like this, it doesn't feed as well.
Oh, there's a pedal, like a welder?
Yeah, so it just that turns it on, and you can see the dirt coming out of it.
Oh, wow.
And it comes out brand new.
Wow. You just did that one spot right here. Look how good it looks. Cricket taught me how to use a plasma cutter. Now he taught me how to use a sandblaster. This is great. I'm gonna use this all the time. And try and do this, and it's not as visually satisfying for you guys as I thought it would be because there's just so much dust in the air that it makes it really hard to see on camera what's happening. So I'm just gonna get this done and show you guys what it looks like. Oh, did someone order a brand new subframe? Because that's what it looks like. Look at this. I still haven't even blown off all the rest of the dirt and sand because a lot gets like layered on there. But man, that was so satisfying and it looks brand new. That is super cool. I know how to use it now and I will definitely be using Sandblaster a lot more going forward. But I'm happy with where this guy is out. So I'm gonna swap this one out for the other subframe, the rear one. And then I also was pressure washing our alternator assembly bracket. So I'm gonna put that in with the other subframe as well. All right, I am done, finally. That was a lot of work. The other subframe, this is for the rear, and it's quite a bit smaller, so I feel like I got this one even better because it was easier to maneuver around inside of there, but they both look so good. They look brand new. And this last piece here is our alternator assembly bracket. I have a brand new DC power high output alternator that's billet and beautiful, so now our bracket that's going to be on the block will look good as well. The color that I'm going to paint everything that's here right now is essentially this same color. It's a brighter silver, I believe it's caliper paint. I'm gonna go see if we have any left or if I have to pick some up. But yeah, first time sandblasting, definitely gonna be doing this more often. has been secured. You know, my boyfriend's the AutoZone boy, so I got a support. Stopped at my local AutoZone, and we got high temp caliper paint in cast aluminum. This is the VHT one, and I saw this on the Drift HQ Corvette on their subframes, and it looked so good. Because this is the cast aluminum one, it's basically just gonna make it look like it's brand new, but we're still gonna have added protection from any chemicals. It'll also be like high temp resistant, and hopefully it'll stay cleaner longer with this on it. And we're going to be also painting the wheel wells. It's gonna look so much better. This made such a huge difference. I did this on the 3-rotor car and it still looks amazing to this day. So I just picked up some Wrinkle Plus. Now I'm gonna head back to the compound and get to painting. The Corvette right now is literally just a complete bare chassis. Nick just dropped the tanks earlier today. Yes, Corvette's got 2 tanks tucked up under there on each side. Like I said, we're going to be utilizing the stock tanks for our setup. And right now, Nick is pressure washing and cleaning the entire underneath of the car. Even when he pulled the tanks out underneath, like the tanks, it was really, really, really bad. Like you just touch the car and you're immediately dirty. So we want to start the season out good and clean. So he's pressure washing everything, so then I can end up painting like the wheel well area. Then everything's just fresh when we do the final assembly for the Corvette tomorrow. spent over an hour taping off this car because I am so paranoid of this paint getting from in the wheel well area into my beautiful neon yellow flaked engine bay. Obviously, in a perfect world, I would have already done this, but we're just making it work now. So I am being like extra cautious because in a Corvette, there are so many holes everywhere in this fiberglass that could allow paint to escape from underneath here and there. You'll notice where the coilover mounts up top, it's just completely open into the bay. So not only did I tape it from inside, I taped it many times from in the bay as well. I taped off everything and connected all the tape with the plastic and paper on the floor, even stuffed some in there because I am just paranoid. I'm going a little crazy, okay? And I think I'm also gonna have plastic taped from here, draping into the inside on each side, and maybe at the top too. It'll be worth it in the end. I think I'm gonna end up making myself like a little paint booth right here, kind of have it all taped off. I'm almost done taping everything and then I'll get started on the painting. Wow, I look like a raccoon. That's a little concerning. I should maybe put glasses on. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did not realize that was on my face until I started recording, and I could barely get it off my hands. So I might be stuck like that. I'm gonna try and just keep going and just try and ignore this situation for the meantime because we are running out of time. I did 2 coats, laid it on pretty thick, and for my 3rd coat, Adam is saying that I need to go in with a heat gun if I want it to really wrinkle and cure faster. So I'm gonna try that with this 3rd coat, lay it on thick, and then hit it with the heat gun, and then hopefully we are done. Oh God, this is bad. So I took care of my face. Shout out Neutrogena makeup removers. These are the best things ever. Everyone, male or female, should have a pack of these in their shop. These are the best things ever. Anyway, turned out amazing. I already took most of the tape and wrap off, and holy crap, did I need every piece that I use to contain this stuff. I've never used wrinkle paint before, and it is gnarly. Like, the overspray is insane. Like, how it stuck to my hands and face was just freaking wild. So I'm glad I spent an hour and a half plus prepping everything, and now I need to do that to the rear. But it turned out so good. See if you can see it better with the actual light. Look at that. Beautiful. It's still drying. The heat gun definitely helped. Like, you could see it start to wrinkle as you were using the heat gun. So thank you to Adam for telling me to do that last minute on my 3rd coat. I've never used this type of paint before, and it doesn't say to do that in the instructions. It doesn't say anything about a heat gun whatsoever, but I think it 100% helped a lot, made it cure faster, and hopefully makes it stronger. The other side turned out good as well. Let's check it out. This side is still drying, so there's some wet spots still. And oh, one thing I will say about using the heat gun, be careful about holding it in one spot a little too long. It's hard to see right there, but I got a little bit of bubbles because I think it got overheated, but man, this looks so good, you guys. Front is done. I'm gonna let it dry overnight. It's super late, so I'm just gonna tape the rear up as best as I can, shoot it, and be done. Later, and we have my rear paint booth on each side. Shout out US Chem for the shark skin. This stuff is dope. And this time, knowing how bad the overspray is, I made my area for protecting the floor a lot bigger. So hopefully that works out better. And this time I'm basically like going in this little bag that I've made for each side. I wanted to finish untaping the front to show you how gnarly this stuff is and how I am so glad that I spent 2 hours pretty much taping this car up, okay? I haven't taken this part of the tape off yet, and look at this. Wild. Got all the way up there. There's no way. There's no way. Some got all the way up there too. Man, and I just put that one there for safety because I was paranoid. Super glad that I spent so long taping this up because my engine bay is still absolutely beautiful, flake looking on point today after a nice little bath. And now I'm gonna go finish the rear and be done. All right, I did 2 coats on each side. That is what my little paint booth is looking like. I'm about to go in with the final 3rd coat, and this is the coat that I'm gonna be going in also with the heat gun and making it cure faster. This stuff is freaking gnarly. Look at this. I am officially done. This last one was insanely stressful because I ran out of product and my heat gun just decided to stop working. So I had to run and go borrow another one. I was still able to get it to wrinkle. I thought it wasn't gonna be savable, but I was still able to get a nice wrinkle on it. So the car is officially done. I think this side looks the best because I felt like I was really starting to get a hang of everything. Look at that. Dude, so good. I love this stuff. This is my first time ever using the wrinkle paint. And I feel like on this side, I finally figured out like exactly what it wanted. So I'm stoked to use this again in the future. And the Corvette is finally done being painted. Our subframes are painted as well. So tomorrow we are going to start some of the first stages of final assembly for this car, which is freaking wild. So I'm really pumped about that. Right now we are on track to hopefully have the car together in the next couple weeks, which is insane. It's been amazing having Nick here. He's doing such a good job on this car, and I'm really glad we took the time to paint it and make it look nicer. That is it for this video. I need to go sleep and clean up. I think this is finally the job that's going to convince me to start using gloves. Look how awful that is. That is it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.